When Kath was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer, and triple-negative being the worst cancers of all, the demon of cancers, she said she would not have chemotherapy nor radiation. She had some experiences with persons who had been through that, and that she would fight naturally and use other Western medical methodologies. We journeyed to Vancouver on 2 occasions, but her main fight, and she went public with this, was for the use of medical cannabis. And I say this today in that the records will show the benefits of cannabis. For those persons who are medically minded or simply interested, GW Pharmaceuticals, that website, will tell you. Kath maintained her position, and we fought. The system responded sluggishly, and Kath kept fighting, and I fought with her. Eventually, we got a prescription for her to use medical cannabis from a young doctor, Harley Mosley III. Ironically, across the street from our office in Belmont. It was then that I began to recognize truly that this was the work of God. I am not religious, but I have come to an understanding. Better yet, the system proved to be difficult for those years. Kath asked me to prepare the documentation and take it to the drug service, and I did. A civil servant would call her name, did the processing, and it went over to the chief medical officer, who was the person authorized to act on behalf of the Minister of Health to grant an importation license for cannabis. It was granted by Dr. Anton Bess, a young and hopefully someone who will rise to great heights in this country. So Kath achieved a first. And if I say I met 2 strong women in 2003, my wife and Dame Sandra. And Dame Sandra will remember our first meeting. And those of you who are attorneys, you will remember that too. But throughout the period, I gained my strength from her counsel. And in time, so did Kath. Kath appeared in the magistrates' courts, the High Court, and she appeared before the panel. She was my rock and I was hers. We fought in relation to how we should present cases. I threw her in at the deep end sometimes, and I would come back and see that she had done a very good job. And she was intended to take over the practice and take it to new heights. With her illness, we spent time trying to find ways. We shared our experiences with others, and we hoped for the best. We thought we had time. We recognized the difficulties here, and we looked at other avenues. Kath refused to stay in Canada. She refused to stay in Vancouver by herself. As Jackie said previously, she wanted all of her children with her. And me, of course. Our bugbear was, again, the system. And I will not go into that here. Suffice to say that most of you know what I'm speaking about. Kath worked on cases such as the Al-Barak matter, the Sam Lars Castle matter. She gave freely. She was a fantastic interviewer. Most of the time I had no patience with clients. I had patience with the law. And Kath dealt with the softening, the discussion, and then I would come in and I would do the rough part of the interviewing and stuff like that.